welcome to Prize YouTube channel. I'm Delaney.
And I'm Abigail. In our last video, we talked a little bit about some of the common misconceptions surrounding crisis communication, and we touched on how AI could help in those situations, but today we want to just take a deeper dive and give more specific examples. And as a reminder, the misconceptions are that crisis is always a bad thing, that silence is the resolution to crisis, that we can completely prevent crisis by controlling our media channels, that crisis is always caused by an outside source, that we can completely prevent crisis by controlling our media channels, that crisis is always caused by an outside source, and last, that crisis has to be the end of your organization.
For a closer look at those, take a look at our first video. Today, we want to offer some specific suggestions and tips on programs to look at specifically regarding crisis communication.
So when I think about the integration between AI and specifically crisis communication, what comes to mind is a lot of what we've been saying over our channels for the last few weeks, that AI can take care of the tasks that either would be hard for a human to do or that just take up too much time. And taking care of those time-consuming tasks allows you as the PR professional to do what you do best, which is relate and be a human and add your human touch to things.
First, let's talk about Brandwatch. This is a platform that dives into the mentions of your company. Throughout all of your channels, you can get a better handle on the people that are mentioning your brand. And this allows for you to identify crisis situations as quickly as possible.
Yeah, in our last video, Emily talked about how social media just moves so quickly, and what you can't really control whether someone writes like a negative comment about your company, but you need to be able to identify it as quick as possible in case it becomes a crisis. And that's what Brandwatch seems to be good at, is paying attention to who's talking about your company and whether it's negative or bad, so that you can identify those as quick as possible. Next is Capestart. And this is an all-around AI system, and it does a little bit of what Brandwatch does as well, but it kind of takes a broader look at crisis in general. And it's taken a collection of past data looking at different crisis situations, and from that data, it suggests plans and ways to address crisis, and it also tries to help you identify crisis as quickly as possible, and just provides a central hub from which to monitor the ongoing crisis situation.
Last, we have HAVRION. So this is a system designed for all kinds of emergency situations that might occur within a company. And this requires quick messaging within the key stakeholders. Now with this system, you can pre-program who will be alerted should a crisis occur, and this includes stakeholders. It can be used in natural disasters or any form of crisis, providing safety instructions and tips on just how to get through it, while the organization is just one step ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a really interesting system because it's so versatile. It can be used for, like you said, natural disasters, to provide safety instructions, or say, there's a fire coming, here's the protocol. Or it can be pre-programmed to communicate with your stakeholders should a crisis occur, to say, here's where we're meeting, and here's when you will be contacted and by who.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a really versatile system that just helps, like we were talking about, the key thing with the crisis time. Crisis is so quick, and how quickly you're able to identify and address crisis and communicate to your stakeholders within a crisis is very important for being able to resolve it in a positive way. And that's what all of these programs do really well, is to cut down on the time that you're spending doing some of these smaller, more tedious tasks, so that you can respond as quick as possible and you can be freed up to solving the crisis at hand.
But as always, we don't see AI as a system that will replace you or take away from that human element at all, but rather a tool that you can use to support your abilities.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we've said, we see AI as a tool to help where your time would be better spent somewhere else. And we think that your expertise is in being a human and being able to relate and understand things that a machine wouldn't be able to. And so AI can help with the other things. But it's really important, especially in a crisis situation. I think this ties into our conversation around ethics, where if we rely too heavily on using AI for crisis situations, it might come across as inauthentic. I think an example that we talked about in our last ethics video was using AI to write a press release for a really emotionally charged situation, like for example, a shooting of some kind. And I think that would be an example where your human expertise is just necessary for that.
Absolutely. Human empathy cannot be replaced by any sort of computer.
Yeah.
And so,
absolutely. Yeah, so a human should be the one communicating in a situation like that, but AI can still be used on the front end to help identify that there is a crisis happening, or to
monitor things, just like the tedious jobs that a computer can do. And as we said before, so that the person has time to dive into the interpersonal aspects and add that human element that's so important.
Absolutely. So we recommend taking a look at these systems, and we'll link them in the description below. Our team has also done a really great job of putting together other AI systems that we recommend, and how we recommend integrating them throughout your communication and your PR field, crisis communication, and beyond. And we've put that into our blog posts, actually. And all of those can be found at our website, which I'll link below.
We would love to hear from you. Feel free to leave a comment. We would love to hear your thoughts and interact with you. And if this topic is interesting to you at all, please be sure to subscribe, and we will post more videos next week talking about the topic of AI. Thank you.